Oh my god, somebody help! My son is in there! What? Which room is he in? His bedroom! It's on the second floor! Alright, I'll be right back.
Hey man, wait. You're gonna need these if you're heading in there.
Thanks man, you're a lifesaver.
No worries. It should keep you somewhat protected from the heat. Just be careful about the side effects.
Side effects?
Yeah, it might cause headache, nausea, dizziness, drowsiness, dry mouth, blurred vision,
high blood sugar, cholesterol, weight gain, low white blood cells, unusual urges, dizziness on standing.
Wait, there's just a few more.
You already went inside.
Seizures, trouble swallowing.
Good morning internet, and welcome to one of the very first videos of General Responder, the show where we always turn out the most interesting topics that have to do with first responders, past, present, future, and fiction. Firefighting is one of those unicorns of a profession that's unanimously liked by pretty much every part of society, save for arsonists or something, for obvious reasons. They save cats from trees, rescue people from car accidents, protect us from deadly fires day in and day out. But what if I told you that the gear protecting them from those very same fires could be quietly killing them? Alright, listen, firefighters have a hefty job description, a big part of it literally being in the name of the profession. But with so many serious responsibilities, they need serious gear to enable them to do their job safely. From the air tanks and regulators that allow them to keep breathing a steady supply of clean air in a fire, to the jaws of life used to literally split open metal in cars. They have a lot at their disposal in the way of safety gear. But today we're going to be taking a focus on the clothing that they wear when battling flames, that give them their signature firefighter look. Their turnout or bunker gear is the culprit of this video, typically consisting of a fiberglass or Kevlar shell helmet over a Nomex flame-resistant hood, 3 layers of construction turnout coat and pants containing a thermal liner, moisture barrier, and outer shell, and the much-needed puncture-resistant gloves and steel-toe boots, all of which contain varying degrees of flame-resistant properties. On the surface, these just sound like regular pieces of tactical gear to provide some level of protection between a first responder and the hazardous situations they're responding to. But to understand what makes this gear so potentially hazardous to the wearer, we first have to break down what makes these garments flame-resistant in the first place, and how wearing them negatively affects the human body. So allow me to introduce you to a little something known as per and polyfluoroalkyl substances, or PFAS for short, which is what we're going to be calling it for the rest of this video, because my goodness gracious, what is that name? PFAS are substances used on fabrics to help repel water, oils, chemicals, and enhance durability under both heat and moisture. Kind of like if you used a splash potion of fire resistance over all of your clothing, except there was an infinite amount of duration on the potion, but not just for the buffs. PFAS are integrated into every part of turnout gear, from the helmet on your head to the liner in your coat and the boots on your feet. One of the draws to the chemicals is its ability to resist breaking down over a long period of time, to the point that it's sometimes even referred to as forever chemicals, which on paper sounds extremely efficient for the effectiveness and longevity of fire gear. But the problem comes when said chemicals start to release under stress and wear and tear into the skin of the wearer. According to a study conducted by the National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST for short, about firefighting tactics and technology, the longer turnout gear is used, laundered, and exposed to heat, the more PFAS migrate into layers closer to the skin. And if you read Berserk, one good way to think about it is with Guts' berserker armor. With more use, more of a toll is taken from using the armor each time. Same thing applies with turnout gear. Research shows that firefighters tend to have a significantly elevated level of PFAS in their blood serum compared to the general population, with turnout gear being identified as one of the main potential exposure sources. Now, you may be wondering what these chemicals actually do to the human body, and the answer is far from pretty. Firefighters already have a higher risk for cancer than the general population due to the substances they come in contact with and the hazardous situations they deal with. But forever chemicals on their gear also contribute to multiple types of cancers, like testicular, prostate, kidney, and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. This would cause any reasonable person to immediately think of providing an alternative to said gear, but really, it just isn't that simple. The whole point of a firefighter's gear is to provide them with the thermal protection, water repellency, and chemical resistance. Removing PFAS would just leave them exposed to the element, but research has been ongoing in the PFAS-free outer shells that have been proven to perform similarly in testing, so it does raise the question on just how necessary these harmful chemicals are in the profession. The problem though is that the gear isn't the only part of the job that can cause exposure to PFAS. Firefighters are exposed to various forms of forever chemicals in multiple other ways on the job, which can blur what exactly causes the health problems they deal with. Examples of this being the foam that they use to subdue fires, chemicals in the station dust, and air from cleaning supplies, the smoke and debris exposure during structure fires. Due to this, it's not exactly clear what the direct cause of the higher rate of cancers are for firefighters is, but one thing that's clear is that the more PFAS these men and women are exposed to, the more dire the situation is. If there is an alternative that can be provided to ensure the safe, hazardous environment resistance of their gear, it needs to be explored. But there you have it. So I guess the answer to the overall question of whether the gear firefighters use is poisoning them would be a yes. Surprise, surprise. I made a video on it. PFAS have been proven to increase the likelihood of developing cancers, and turnout gear is just one additional way firefighters are exposed to them. Research is making major headway in the way of reducing or even eliminating the presence of PFAS in turnout gear though, so the situation isn't that bleak for the future, to the point that multiple states are banning protective gear containing PFAS as soon as 2027. For now though, my recommendation would be to limit exposure to said chemicals when you can, and do your best to keep your gear in pristine condition. Thank you for every single person stopping by for one of the first ever videos of General Responder. I actually released 2 other videos alongside this one, so you're only 33% of the way there if this is the only video you watch. So if you want to know why the US has 18,000 police agencies, try the video on the left. Or if you want to learn about the life-saving drug that everybody, yes, even you, should be carrying, check out the video on the right. Saw them both already? Well, here's your very first responder badge, my little General Scout. Now let's add that to your brand spanking new PFAS free subscriber sash right over here. Hungry for more? Don't you worry, because new videos and more patches to come next Friday. So stay tuned for that one and have yourself a damn good one.